The margin of error, E, for a confidence interval estimate of a population mean mu, can be found by multiplying the critical value t alpha over 2 and the standard deviation of the sample means. So this is a lot like what we did for confidence intervals for population proportions. So our margin of error is t alpha over 2 times s divided by the square root of n. And s is going to be our sample standard deviation. N is our sample size. Now again, the center of the confidence interval will be our point estimate, which is the sample mean, x bar, and the distance the interval spreads on each side is E, our margin of error. So the confidence interval will look like this. The lower limit will be the sample mean minus the margin of error. The upper limit will be the sample mean plus the margin of error. Here's an example of constructing a confidence interval. A sample of 51 pennies minted after 1982 has a sample mean weight of 2.464 grams and a sample standard deviation of 0.02 grams. Construct a 95% confidence interval to estimate the mean weight of pennies minted after 1982. So we already went through the steps to find our critical value for this case, but again, this is going to be different for every different sample size. So again, the steps would be to find alpha over 2 and then the degrees of freedom, which is n minus 1. Put that in your calculator or look it up in the table, and our critical value will be 2.009. Our point estimate, which is our sample mean, is 2.464. Our sample standard deviation is 0.02, and our sample size n is 51. So here's what the formula looks like. We have 2.009 times 0.02 divided by the square root of 51, and that gives us a margin of error of 0.006. So for our confidence interval, we're taking our sample mean minus the margin of error and our sample mean plus the margin of error to get our two limits. And this gives us a confidence interval that goes from 2.458 grams to 2.470 grams. The interpretation for this confidence interval is that we are 95% confident, or we can say there's a 95% probability that the true population mean is between 2.458 grams and 2.470 grams.